FOJ 31. What's up, Jason?
Jeff, how are you? Life is good.
Good. I feel like there's a little bit of a delay there.
Yeah, a little bit. I don't know if I'm like I said, I had computer issues getting cranked up here, so maybe it could be my crappy computer, but who knows? That's all right.
Well, let's do it. Let's go ahead and give your computer the first official dumbass of the week for your computer being
there you go.
Shitty.
Yeah. Yeah, I do need to upgrade. There's no doubt. I mean, I bought this thing a couple of years ago, and it just basically sits in my basement and collects dust for the most part outside of this podcast. So I don't do a whole lot with it. But, for those few things that I can't do on my work computer because my work computer tells me I can't do it, I have this one. So, yeah.
Does that stuff that you're talking about rhyme with Orn?
No.
You definitely don't want to do that on your work computer.
No, I don't want to do that on any computer, to be honest with you, because that's what'll kill your computer, if you know what I'm saying. So no. But just Cisco doesn't like, if I sit here and look at sports or, sometimes even read the news or whatever. So I just,
because you're supposed to be selling, you're supposed to be working.
Yeah, exactly. And I sometimes like to do neither. So
well, now's the time to get a computer before tariffs kick in. Prices are starting to rise up right? on that sector, especially. So, and let's see what tomorrow's Memorial Day. So what better way to celebrate our troops than to buy a new computer?
There you go. That's fair. I'll be celebrating Memorial Day on the baseball field at a tournament. So that's what I'll
really. That's shocking.
I will be doing.
I mean,
I know it's not like I do anything else these days, but no, the kids have come alive the past couple of games. They've won 4 in a row, 2 today, 1 nail biter, 4-2, and then they won one pretty convincingly 12-1. So we're the top seed going into the bracket part of the tournament tomorrow. So
well, look at that.
After we'll see how it goes.
And this was after last week where you said you had not, prepared them and you played the guilt trip card on them. Seems to have worked.
Totally. But, we played well last Sunday, and then today it kind of carried over. We had a decent practice on Friday, and then today kids showed up, and so it was nice to see. It was a little cooler out today. It's game time temp in the mid 50s. So, it's cool outside, no sun. And I'm like, God, it's Memorial Day weekend. Usually, we're talking 60s, even 70s, and it got better later. But this morning, it was a little chilly out there.
Yeah, the weather's been nice here in North Carolina, where I'm at for the last couple of days. I was in New York City earlier this week, and it was a little bit chilly. It got down to 40s and 50s, and it rained, I think, 2 of the 3 days that I was there. So didn't really get out and explore as much as I usually do. But I did treat myself to some excellent Korean fried chicken.
Oh, outstanding.
Mm-hmm.
How often do you get to New York City?
At least every couple months, 2 to 3 months. I used to go more often, like every month. But I'm pulling back a little bit on travel expenses because of the economy. So
sure.
But every couple months I've got, work in that area. So I try to get up there, like I said, every 2 to 3 months so far this year.
Do you stay in the same hotel every time?
No, I move around quite a bit, actually. I'm usually in kind of like Manhattan Midtown area. So like Times Square, Garment District, kind of in that location for folks who are familiar. And if I'm not there, then I'm usually staying by the airport, and it's usually price dependent. So like earlier this year, I went out there the same time that the UN was having meetings, and hotels in Midtown Manhattan were like $700 a night. Like, okay, well, I can't justify that expense. So I'll stay by the airport for, $250 a night, which is still pretty expensive, but for New York, not as bad as, being in the middle of the city.
Now you mentioned, what would you say, Korean barbecue? What is do you have like a go-to every time you go there? Cause I know you had mentioned in the past, you travel, Portillo's is on the docket if it's in town. What is your New York go-to?
Well, so I love Korean fried chicken. So if you haven't had it, it is the shit. I've tried a few different places, and I think I might have found the best one so far. It's this place, and it's a chain actually out of South Korea that is in New York City. called BBQ, Korean fried chicken or something. I don't know. But it's BBQ. And it doesn't stand for like barbecue. It's like best of the best quality or something like that.
Okay.
But their wings were fantastic, perfectly prepared. They had some heat on it, so there was a little bit spicy, but it was a good heat and just delicious wings. So either that or Banchan's another good one that's in New York City. I haven't seen that. I just don't see it anywhere else. It's Banchan, BBQ, and there's another place called Sweet Chicks. It's in Brooklyn, Brooklyn, I think area, and they have really actually good chicken and waffles. So, try to consider myself a little bit of a connoisseur when it comes to chicken and waffles, but pretty good.
Yeah, sure. Mm-hmm. What's your favorite thing in New York City? What's your favorite thing to see, or what's your favorite thing to do, or
oh man, I love New York City. It is fantastic. I'd say it's probably my second favorite city after Amsterdam. At this point, it's great.
So it was number one, is what you're saying.
Now that I think about it, yeah, it probably was, and it's just such a busy place. I mean, there are so many people there. It's ridiculous. But you can just walk the streets for the most part and, not have any problems and see interesting stuff. And I'm not saying it's all roses, right? It's still a large city and all the problems that typically come with that. But honestly, it's the people watching. You just walk around. The food is fantastic. You can go to like a deli, they have like one on every corner, and you'll have amazing food there. Usually, and breakfast sandwiches are the shit also. So if you like to eat, New York City is a great spot. You can just literally walk around, see it's and of course there's plenty to see and just kind of chill.
Nice. I need to go. My sister's she actually has run the New York City Marathon before. And she's been to watch friends run the New York City Marathon, but I have never been, and I know I need to. I lived in upstate New York, but I think New York City was like 5 hours away. We just never got over there. So I would like to go. I want to see, Times Square, Statue of Liberty, Empire State Building, all that stuff. I think it'd be cool. The 9/11 Memorial, I would love to see that. And definitely on my to-do list for sure. So
it's definitely a place you need to set aside a few days if you want to do that kind of stuff. I've actually not done any of that stuff. I think I've done 30 Rock. I've been outside of it, which is, the big NBC kind of spot where like Saturday Night Live is and the Night Show and stuff like that. But 30 Rock is probably the closest thing I've gotten to. I've been through Central Park, here and there, outside the Trump Tower, which always has barricades out of it in front of it. So,
I'm sure.
Yeah. So yeah, not really touristy, but a lot of stuff. And it was Fleet Week actually, coming in. So when I left, Fleet Week was just starting up, and that's like when, the US military basically shows up for a week in a port and kind of puts on a show. Yeah. And as I was taking off from New York City to go back home, I saw an F-18 land at LaGuardia Airport, which is very, very cool. So,
that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. And I didn't realize what was happening until it was like landed already. Like, shit, that's an F-18.
I could watch, I don't know about you, I could watch planes land and take off like all day. I don't know why. Just the phenomenon of a thing that big, just in the air, off the ground, landing, taking off, all that stuff. I could watch that all day long.
Yeah. It's amazing modern feat of engineering.
Yeah, I just think it's cool to watch.
And a lot of it's automated now, actually. So like the bigger airports, the landings are automated through a system called ILS, Instrument Landing System, and it puts you on the right glide path and lands and stuff like that. Not every airport has it, I don't think. We certainly don't have it in Nashville, but it's pretty neat how all that stuff works. And like I said, or like you said, I travel a lot. So I'm going to Vegas next week.
I know. Yeah.
I'm going to get another trip under my belt here.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. I don't really have anything planned anytime soon. Michelle and I are talking about doing something maybe in the late summer, early fall. It is our 25th anniversary coming up.
Wow.
So
congratulations.
I should probably do something.
Yeah. My 20th is this fall as well.
Oh, right on. Congratulations.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I need to put something together. Yeah, Jason's got to figure something out.
Yes, you do.
So who knows? Maybe New York City is an idea because I know that Michelle has never been there either. So
Well, there you go. So go and stay and like, I mean, probably move around a lot, and there's plenty of sports things to do, obviously, as well. So
yeah,
you could do,
yeah.
if you time it right, maybe go to a Giants or a Jets game, or maybe the end of the MLB season.
Yankee Stadium is on my bucket list for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to go to Yankee Stadium.
Now, would Michelle want to do that?
I think she would indulge that for me. I think,
Yeah.
I think that's something she would do for sure. Yeah, she's pretty good when it comes to sports. I gotta tell you, she's into this basketball playoffs.
Is she? Okay.
Yeah, she.
So
is.
if you had to, so let me put you on the spot here. You've got to design your perfect New York City vacation to celebrate your wedding anniversary. What is it that you would want to do? And I'll see if I can provide it. If I can't, I can't.
Okay, I would Times Square for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I know, knowing my wife, we'd have to do a little bit of shopping.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see Statue of Liberty. I would like to see the 9/11 memorial. If we could fit a trip to Yankee Stadium in there, I would totally do it. But doesn't have to happen. I would definitely want to do stuff that I know she would like. Obviously, hit some great restaurants. People walk the city. I was
gonna say, are you guys awesome. Walkers?
Yes.
Yeah. We'll have a good time with that.
I would definitely want to do that. And I know this sounds goofy maybe, but experience the subway.
Yeah, I was going to say, so if you stayed in like Midtown, for example, by Times Square in that area, you could take the subway all the way down to kind of the south area. I don't remember what it's called, but like down where like the Statue of Liberty is, and the Trade Center and stuff like that. So there's you could definitely get around on the subway for sure.
I would think. Now, this is, my sister Megan, she's been there a couple times, and she has said that probably 4 days is probably enough to get
I think that's probably
enough of New York City in. Yeah, I think for what I would want to do, I think 4 days would do it.
Yeah, so I think that's totally right.
Kind of like a long week, like a long weekend, like a Thursday to Sunday type thing.
Oh yeah, for sure. Fly in. I would say fly into LaGuardia. Newark is having some problems right now with planes disappearing from radars and air traffic control problems. So maybe I wouldn't suggest that.
Don't need that.
Right. Yeah, but I would stay in like Midtown, and then you can get around, and it's basically kind of the center of where you'd want to be anyway. You've got Central Park is, depending on how far you want to walk, is within walking distance.
Yeah, I'd want to see that too.
South into like Financial District would be like, where you would see like the Trade Center and, take something over to the Statue of Liberty. Lots of good comedy clubs down in that area as well. So like, what do they call it? Like Greenwich Village or, Union Square or maybe Lower Manhattan, some of that area. So you can go see some stuff. That's something I would love to do, and I have not actually done yet, is go to some famous comedy club down there, because they always have cool people, coming through.
Yeah.
And I'm a big fan of it. Like the Comedy Cellar, I think, is probably the biggest one that I can think of.
I've heard of that. Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, I always thought like that area where they used to film Letterman.
Mm-hmm.
That where they would take the show like outside once in a while and do some crazy stunt. Just that whole area in, like I said, Times Square, where they used to have TRL on MTV. Yep. Yeah, yep. I think that whole scene just looks cool. So I would like to see that sometime.
Yeah, well, go do it. What are you waiting for?
I know.
Do it. Well, so to get there, you've got to have the money to do it, obviously. So let's check in and see how your passive requirement income is coming. How is your betting going with the was it San Francisco Giants, the Chicago White Sox? Are you doing anything with the Rockies, and are you doing anything with the Cubs yet?
No. Oh, okay. So full disclosure, I totally just ignored. I didn't actively ignore it this week, but I didn't gamble anything. So what I need to do. Yes, I know. Yeah. Boo hiss. I earned that one. So what I need to do is get back on the horse, and here's what needs to happen.
Okay.
Dodgers to win, Cubs to win every day. Because I think both of those teams are good enough. And believe it or not, if I really wanted to get a little, take some chances here, that kind of thing. Because right now, the Detroit Tigers have the best record in baseball. So
34
I could get
and 20
on,
as I see it right now.
I could get on that train if I wanted to.
Well, hold on a second.
Really
the Philadelphia Phillies have the best record in baseball.
Okay, maybe it was
19.
as of
now, they've played one extra
Tigers.
One less game played,
Right.
But
okay.
Yeah.
So, and then the White Sox to lose, I think they're still bad enough to bet that. The Rockies to lose, definitely. They're bad. And I'm not, there's another team that's I think it's the Orioles.
The Orioles are to say they're one game better than the Sox right now.
Yeah, exactly.
If that's what you want to call it, better.
Yeah, right. I will say this on behalf of the White Sox. They are playing a little bit better than they have in the most recent past. They did make a move that I didn't think they had the guts to make. They sent down
Seppuku?
Andrew Vaughn.
They put a knife in it. Yeah. Call it a season.
Yeah. I know. They sent down Andrew Vaughn to AAA. He's been their first baseman pretty much since COVID and has struggled mightily for the past probably season and a half, 2 seasons. And I'm sorry, he wasn't their first baseman since COVID. What is it? Abreu won the MVP, and then I think he played one more year, and then he was gone. So Vaughn's been their first baseman for like the past 3 seasons, but they rushed him to the minors. They finally sent him down to AAA minor leagues to figure it out. And I didn't think the Sox had the guts to do that to a guy who they drafted high and he's played in the majors for a couple of years now, and they finally sent him down due to bad performance. So kudos to the Sox for a move that should have been done a long time ago, but they finally did it.
Oh, that's probably worth what, 3 or 4 wins?
It could be. Who knows? I look at it as progress because, again, they wouldn't have made that move last year when they needed to, but they did. And now they got a bunch of young guys playing, and they're playing hard. And they may not win every game, but, you're starting to see what the future could look like with some development and, maybe see a little bit of success down the line. We'll see.
Okay. Well, that's good. Doesn't matter if you don't bet them, though, Jay. You got to make money off this.
I know. But I am reaping the benefits of the White Sox in one manner. So they have a deal going with a local gas station chain here in Chicago called Gas and Wash. Whereas if you get the Gas and Wash app and the White Sox steal a base, they don't have to win, they don't have to lose. All they have to do is steal a base in the game. And they have the game's leading base stealer right now in Luis Robert. He's 20. You get yourself a free $20 car wash either that day or the day after. So I have got my car washed on the White Sox now like 4 times since I learned that this existed from a coworker. So
forget World Series. Let's just steal bases.
Right. And steal bases and get Jason a clean car. So I will do listener of the week later because I do have an actual listener of the week, but I want to shout out to, I could call him another listener of the week. My guy, Ray, coworker of mine who turned me onto this app, and now my car's just cleaner than ever. So Ray, thank you very much. Appreciate you.
Ray keeping it spick and span.
That's right. And now thanks to Ray, my entire family is on this. So So
It
we
isn't
all have
amazing
clean
just the
cars.
stupid little shit that we get into. It's like, oh yeah, it's like, when the Bulls score 100, you get a free taco.
I know. And the cool thing is, it's not just the cheap ass, $12 car wash where they just basically run water over your car. This is a $20 wash every time. So,
So you get the undercoat and the sealant and all that stuff?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And it's good when even my youngest son, who runs his own detail business, shout out to Gwig's Detail, he endorses this thing. So, it's solid.
Well, maybe he should make a partnership and get his seal of approval up on the app, and then we can have,
right?
The tie in there.
It would be nice. He is running a $25 off special right now. So now through
he's
May
got to compete with a free car wash.
I know, right? Yeah, and little does he know that I'm giving him free advertising right now.
Well, maybe it's time for him to embrace the sports culture and do something similar, like, every time something happens, right, get some sort of discount or something. I don't know.
Maybe. He's actually, I will give him credit. He's doing really well. He had, He had 2 details yesterday. He had 1 this morning. He had a couple earlier this week. I think he's got a couple scheduled for next week already. He's trying to avoid getting an actual job this summer. So, and what's nice is, depending on what he does, he's pulling in like $200 to $300 a job. Like, he's
great.
full, tear down and vacuum and,
Now, does he do it at the person's place, or do the people bring it to him? See,
no, he does it there.
See, that's the killer thing, right? I show up at your house and I'll clean your car for you. That's a killer feature.
He is at these people's house at like 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. He's got a canopy set up. He's got all the bells and whistles in his car ready to go. Power washer, air compressor, all that stuff. And then all the, the brushes and polishes and all this stuff. And he just sets it up and works, probably 4 or 5 hours on a car. And it looks damn good. So you want to check him out, go to Gwig's Details on Instagram, and he's got all the pictures and stuff. So it's cool.
There you go. Let's do it. Let's go fill his calendar with stuff.
Yeah.
Let's get him off the payroll, Jay.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. I want to get him off the payroll early. So, yeah. It's
anything
good.
else going on in the baseball world that I need to know about? Because I don't know shit.
Not really. Nothing too crazy. You're kind of, we've talked about this before. The baseball season is very long and drawn out, and they play every day, and people say not every game matters, even though they do matter. But even I can't sit there and watch every single game in the season. Nobody's chasing any real records. Aaron Judge is still flirting with hitting 400, but again, it's only the end of May. So I don't think he's going to be anywhere near 400 by the end of the season. So other than that, it's just right now, it's just another baseball season. Cubs are doing really well, which is fun for those who are Cub fans here in Chicago. They're dealing with some pitching injuries, but they're playing through it. Their offense is just relentless, and it's fun, and that's fun to watch. So that's cool. Sox are the Sox, and that's it. So
what's been the biggest surprise for you for the MLB season so far?
The biggest surprise for me, I would say, is probably the demise of the Baltimore Orioles, believe it or not, because they last year made the playoffs. They were playing with a bunch of really young talent that they drafted and developed, and they sucked so bad for years and got to draft really high, like for about 5-6 years in a row. And now all those draft picks made it to the majors pretty much last year, and they made the playoffs. I think they lost in the first round, but you thought that, okay, this Orioles team is going to be the next big thing. And this year, it has just been a nightmare for them. You just said it. They're only a game ahead of the White Sox. So, yeah, I think that's the biggest surprise. The other one, I don't think people knew the Rockies were going to be as bad as they actually are. They lost a game 21-0 and then fired their manager the next day. So, it's been tough. I don't think people realized or expected Pete Crow Armstrong of the Cubs to be as good as he's been. I mean, they're talking he's a possible early season MVP candidate in the National League, and which is legit. I mean, the guy's got 15 homers or something like that. He's got 49 RBIs, which I think is second in the National League, and he's got 14 or 15 stolen bases, and is playing, Gold Glove defense. I think Cub fans thought he would be good. I don't think anybody thought he was going to be this good. And the Cubs offense as a whole is just, they score runs like crazy. They've got, what is that? I think I counted, they've got 6 or 7 different guys with already 25 RBIs and 2 more that have 24. So, they're just scoring runs like crazy. And obviously they have some pitching injuries that they're making up for with all the offense. So if they can get some of their pitching back and maybe make a deal or two at the deadline, they're going to contend. And I know everybody talks about the Dodgers this and the Dodgers that, and I do it too because I'm a closet Dodger fan, and I'll admit it. But Cubs are going to be tough to deal with in the playoffs, and I think they'll win this division going away. And then once you get them in the playoffs, I think they're going to be tough to deal with.
Okay, we'll see.
So that's my rundown.
I'm not gonna pay attention until the playoffs come around.
Yeah,
it's just like that too long a season. But I was going to ask you if you think the Cubs keep up this pace. It sounds like you think they will.
I think they can. I don't see any reason why they can't. I don't know if PCA can keep up his pace. But I think he'll keep up a pace to be good enough to keep the team rolling. I don't think he's ever going to hurt them, if you will. I mean, everybody goes through a slump every once in a while, but I think their team's too good unless they all slump at the same time. That they're not going anywhere.
Mm-hmm. Is there a pitcher that the Cubs should fear when it gets to the playoffs before they get to the World Series?
Meaning fear on their own
a
team,
shutdown pitcher, right? Yeah. So, offense tends to dry up a little bit, right, as the season goes on, and then you get to the playoffs, odd game here and there, but pitching seems to be the most consistent thing. Is there a pitcher that they should be like, we don't want to face that guy in the playoffs?
Yeah, I think, if they were to face the Dodgers in the playoffs, I think that's going to be a tale of two offenses, basically, because both teams are struggling with pitching. I think Yamamoto for LA is really tough. So he's going to be their nemesis. But if the Cubs get Imanaga back, I think, he may offset that. So, you got 2 Japanese pitchers who are both really good facing off against each other. Yeah, there's other guys out there, but I think the National League goes through the Dodgers, and until you beat the Dodgers, you're just not going to get there, I think. But the Cubs are one of the few teams in the National League that I think have the firepower to do it.
Okay. That'd be exciting. That'd be cool to see the Cubs do well.
Definitely. This Chicago, when one of their teams makes the playoffs, even if it's the White Sox, not that it's going to be the White Sox anytime soon, but as well as I do, Chicago in any sport, when their team gets into the playoffs, everybody's all in.
It's
and great. things get very exciting around here for any Bulls, Bears, Blackhawks, Cubs, even White Sox playoffs. So
yeah, the city tends to rally around whoever's doing well, which is good.
No doubt about it.
All right. Well, let's see. What else you got on your list? Do we want to hit sports? I know I want to talk about TV and stuff that we haven't caught up on in a while, but anything else on the sports tip?
Not really. I mean, you got NBA playoffs going on. I think Oklahoma City leads their series with Minnesota 2-1, although the Timberwolves beat the absolute shit out of the Thunder yesterday. It was like I think it was like 143 to 101. Scored 72 points the first half and 71 points in the second half. It's just an absolute beatdown. Then you got the Pacers.
It used to be rare that you'd see those beatdowns.
Yeah,
but I feel like the era of the 3-point shot has made that much more
Oh, yeah.
common. I mean, 40 points is still a lot, but I think you end up with these nights where one team just shoots the lights out from 3-pointer and the other team doesn't, and they can't keep up.
We had the game on kind of in the background. I mean, we were watching it, but we were just kind of chit-chatting and all that stuff. But it seemed like every time I looked at the TV and Minnesota had the ball, there was a 3-pointer going in. Whether it was Anthony Edwards or Julius Randle or McDaniels or DiVincenzo, it didn't seem to matter. Whoever threw it up, it was nothing but net.
Well, yeah. So I'm looking at the stats, and Oklahoma went 14 for 44, 31.8% from 3-point land. And the Timberwolves went 20 for 40, 50%. So they only made 6 more. But that's 18 points right there.
For sure.
And they shot better. It was just a poor shooting night, really, for OKC.
Yeah, I mean, OKC has the MVP with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He had an off night. I think he only had like 14 points or
14
something
points.
like that.
Yep.
Yeah, he did not shoot well. But, I mean, Edwards had 39, most of which was in the first 3 quarters. And, I mean, that game was over before halftime. I mean, it was, 72 to 40-something at halftime. So there was no way that OKC was coming back. So,
Yeah, I'm looking at these plus minus for both teams.
Yeah.
And it is not good for OKC. Minus 31, minus 32. Like, oh my gosh.
I mean, the other series, you got Pacers and Knicks playing right now. Pacers are up 2-0, and they're also up by 13 in the third quarter of this game. So this could be a sweep. I mean, they're playing in Indiana, which means I think the Pacers took both games in New York. So you got a one-sided series, and so far, Minnesota is trying to make it a series. They got it to 2-1, so we'll see what happens there. But I think a Timberwolves-Knicks final would be fascinating if the Knicks could come back, and I don't think they can, but I think that would be neat because they had a big trade in the offseason. I think, was it this offseason or last offseason? I can't remember when the Karl Anthony Towns for Julius Randle deal, 2 guys that, had gotten kind of stale where they were playing, and then they trade for them both, and they both have just thrived in their new places. So kind of a win-win on a deal, but to see them both make the finals would be pretty cool.
Well, I don't know if you saw that shot that Halliburton hit. I think it was the first game of the series where it was an overtime, and it looked like a broken play, and I don't know what he was thinking, like from a get open shot perspective. But throw it, hits the back of the iron, and goes up, and then comes back down through. Like, oh my gosh, like that was.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That just doesn't happen.
No. I mean, the Knicks are trying to, stay with it, but I think Indiana's just better. So probably going to see the Pacers in the finals.
Well, the city of New York was definitely trying to rally behind the Knicks. So,
for sure.
I think that's another team, that has had issues recently being good, and this has been a little bit of a nice kick for them.
Yeah. So,
all right.
Yeah, it's kind of cool to see. It's cool to see new teams in the finals. I mean, we're so used to, in recent memory, seeing Golden State or the Warriors or the Lakers or the Celtics or the usual teams that are the Miami Heat, the teams that always seem to be good. And now you're looking at, actually remember Indiana and the Knicks were good. They always gave Jordan and the Bulls fits, right?
Yep.
And I don't think the Timberwolves have. Yeah. And I don't think the Timberwolves have ever been this far, and I don't think OKC has ever been this far. So it's good to see some new teams going far. So that's cool.
Yeah, well, that's sports, right? Is you have your eras of dominance, and theoretically, if things are working the way they're supposed to be working, other teams become more competitive, with draft picks and other things like that. But yeah, I mean, I guess, I look at the playoffs and it's like, I don't care. I don't care really who wins. I just want to see good basketball.
Right. Yeah. Well, again, I mean, the Bulls suck, and they're going to suck for a while. And, again, when a Chicago team's in it, it's more interesting to me, but they're not. Right. So it's not.
Yeah. I'm with you.
Yeah. So.
All right. What else is going on in the sports world? Anything?
Not really much, man. Not really much. There's no, I mean, I think, what is it? I think the Bears had mini camp, off-season mini camp, and nothing really came out of that. You had the local reporters around here are saying that there is definitely a difference between what they saw last year and this year. There's kind of a higher sense of urgency. We did talk about last week the Bears working on an extension for Joe Thuney. They did get that done this week. So what is it? Thuney, Dahlman, Jonah Jackson, their 3 interior linemen now have contracts that expire at the same time as Caleb Williams' rookie contract does. So they'll be there as long as Caleb's there. So that's good. Stability.
Until someone starts getting pissy and wants a new contract for whatever reason.
Yeah, or God forbid somebody gets hurt really bad, and Thuney's up there. Although I saw a ranking by some expert, so-called expert, whatever, that had Thuney as the 3rd best guard in the NFL, which I thought was interesting. So
that'd be nice.
It would be nice. But it's nice that they have now, like I said, some stability at offensive line, and there sounds like there was a higher sense of urgency at minicamp, and a lot of coaching, a lot of directing. So hopefully they're building something fun up at Hallis Hall that we'll have to watch in the fall. We'll see.
Let's see if we see a more disciplined football team this year.
Yeah. Yeah. I know Chicago's excited. I mean, the Bears, we're in late May, and the Bears still dominate sports radio in this town. Even though they're not playing, it's still the top story, probably the most talked about topic. It's just, what are the Bears doing? What's new with the Bears? What happened today? Who talked today? Who did this? Who did that? There is so much interest in this team, and they don't play for another 3 months, So it's exciting.
Well, they're still,
and that's good.
They're still running the off-season champ, playbook right now. So
yeah, let's get on the road to in-season champ. How about that?
Yeah, and Rodgers is still fucking around with whatever he's doing.
I know.
I guess he's got some friends or something, is what I heard or read somewhere about. He's dealing with some personal issues with friends and cancer, which sucks. But at some point, decision has to get made right on that one. He's left the Steelers hanging for a very long time.
Yeah, I think if you're the Steelers, you kind of gotta be like, okay, dude, we got to know what are we doing here? Or we got to move forward. You're into off-season activities, and maybe Rodgers doesn't need them, but the team does. So you know.
And then the tush push survived, so not banned.
I saw that.
What do you think of the tush push?
But I also, if you can run it, it's an NFL play.
Anybody can do it, right? It's not one
anybody
team.
Can do it. Can you figure out how to stop it? It's a play of pure strength, right? And leverage. So, until teams really figure that out and expect it, and even though I think they expect it, but why don't they line up the same way the offense does? And then there's this big crash, and then it's almost like reverse tug of war, right?
Right.
But then I think you'll see teams line up in the tush push formation, then maybe somebody go out for a screen pass, and it's a game of cat and mouse. It's like, okay, we've come up with a play. All right, we come up with a way to defend it. Okay, we come up with something else. We come up with a way to defend it, and you just go back and forth. That's football,
Right. Yeah, I'm with you.
So who can outsmart the other guy?
I don't understand what the basis would have been to ban it. Based on what?
No.
I'm not good enough to stop it? It's a shitty reason.
Yeah. I also saw they are now allowing the onside kick back to be able to have that in any time during the game. But I think you still have to
play. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, I think you still have to declare it, but for the longest time, you could only do it in the fourth quarter and if you were losing.
Yeah.
So
I'm fine with that being out there. It's such a 1% play that, who's going to do it?
Yeah. Right. So.
Okay.
But I don't think there's any other major rule changes or anything like that, as far as I know.
Yeah, nothing that I saw. I'm happy that tush push survived because it's why would you ban a play? Because what? People can't execute it, or the other players. That's not the NFL's problem. That's the team's problem. Yeah,
that'd be a weak reason to take a play.
Let's ban the forward pass because the Bears can't block last year. Yeah. Okay. Okay, boomer. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. What is it? It's the Eagles that are really good at the tush push.
Yeah.
And
the Eagles are good, but so are the Ravens. So were the Bills. And I think they've copied some of that play. But the Eagles are like the crown jewel of the tush push.
The standard.
Or the brotherly shove, as they call it.
Yeah. Well, they also have a quarterback who can squat 600 pounds, which in that play probably helps.
Probably does, yeah. Yep. So, I'm surprised that they don't play action more off of that. I mean, it's almost like a guaranteed 1 or 2 yards, and it changes the game for them quite a bit, right? You see them use it all the freaking time.
Like fourth and one should be fourth and one
from their own 30. Yep, let's do it.
Yeah, we're going.
Yeah, exactly.
And
I'm surprised that they don't play action more off of it.
Yeah, and until somebody proves that they can stop it consistently, we're going to keep doing it.
Yep. And that's football. You keep running the ball until someone proves you can stop it.
That's right.
All right.
That's why it's a great game.
It's the best game.
It's awesome.
Let's talk a little bit about TV and movies, because I feel like we haven't caught up in a while. I have not heard of a Game of Thrones update from you recently.
You haven't heard a Game of Thrones update from me because I can't seem, and it's not due to lack of interest. I really enjoy the show, and based on what I'm about to tell you, you're probably going to call me a liar, but I do love the show. I just can't freaking stay awake for an entire episode because I'm old and I'm tired, and by the time the day's over, it's hard for me to stay awake. So we have not even attempted to watch an episode of that show probably in 3 weeks, maybe.
What's the last thing you remember?
And I can't even tell you. I honestly can't even tell you. That's how bad.
Has Michelle watched any without you? Did Michelle press on?
No, she won't. Old man. She won't. She won't do it. No, she won't do it. Okay. And I appreciate that about her, but we do need to get back into it. Now, I am guilty because we tried to watch this one a while ago and she never got into it. I did fly through the second season of the Yellowstone spinoff, 1923. And it was really good if you're into the series. I know you haven't seen any of it, but if you're ever looking for something to watch, 1923 from Yellowstone's really good.
I have not seen anything from the Yellowstone universe at all.
Harrison Ford, what's her face? Helen Mirren. So, solid actors in this one. But, again, Yellowstone's got all kinds of, it's got the Yellowstone itself. It's got 1883, which was just a 1 season and done deal. I think 1923 is a 2 season and done deal, but they've got, I think, a couple other spinoffs in the works. Pretty good if you're into Westerns and things like that. It's interesting. I'm not saying it's, the most entertaining thing, but it grabs you. I went through that series in about, granted, there are only 7 episodes, but 3 days?
Wow.
So,
pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I've never seen anything from any of the Yellowstone stuff. For whatever reason, it just hasn't interested me, even though I've heard people say it's good. My wife has watched, I think, all of Yellowstone. I don't know if she's watched the spinoffs or not, but I just, for whatever reason, just there's so much to watch, and I just don't have it in me to add another thing to my list.
Yeah. Well, I know because you've been.
I powered through Andor this last weekend. So I have 2 episodes left, Andor season 2 on Disney Plus. I think it's one of the best Star Wars things of all time. Like if you take it, it's up there with like Rogue One, and then if you're a real Star Wars fan, right, episodes 4, 5, and 6. But it is just an amazing series.
I loved Rogue One. I thought it was the best one of
so
all.
If you like Rogue One, you will love Andor.
Okay. Then
because
that
it
will
is
probably because I do have Disney
dark
Plus
and just really good. And it sets the stage for a lot of things that happen in Rogue One, which is very cool.
No, that's good then, because I do have Disney Plus, and I like Star Wars, and I need, if we're not going to do Game of Thrones for a bit, I need something on the side. I can't now. And I know a couple weeks ago I said, "Oh yeah, I'm going to watch Breaking Bad." I can't watch Breaking Bad and Game of Thrones at the same time. There's too much.
No, they're too similar. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But I think something Star Warsy, I could essentially fly through. You know what I mean? And take a few days.
It's so good.
Watch 2 or 3 episodes at a time and not get bored with it or anything like that. Yeah, that's something I need to do. So Andor, all right.
Andor on Disney Plus. I'm sure there's lots of people out there that are like, yeah, hell yeah, watch it. I think it's fantastic. If you like Rogue One, you will absolutely love Andor. It's fantastic.
There's so much good stuff on television.
I know.
There really is.
I started watching The Last of Us again. The problem is like there's just again so much to watch, and so it's like I started Last of Us. I think it was a couple weeks ago. I think I watched a couple episodes on my flight from the U.S. to Amsterdam, and then I don't know, got busy with Europe and stuff like that. And then Andor, I was like, I got to watch that because I don't want to have like spoilers. And so it's like, all right, I got to kind of stay on front of some things. And Last of Us been out enough, but that's also really good. I think that's on, what's that on? That's on Max or HBO, whatever name change it's gone through again. But that's another good one. Another one based off a video game that I never played, but people seem to like it.
Did you ever get into Avengers?
Oh yeah, the Avengers. Like you meaning like the movie series from Marvel?
Like the movies, yeah.
Oh yeah, I love the Avengers.
So I was putting together this list for you. Because sometimes we do a top 10, things like that. And so I came up with. Well, I didn't come up with this, but I mean, I looked it up. I came up with who are the top 10 grossing actors of all time. As in whose careers have brought in the most revenue to the movie theater. Okay. And I was writing down this list, and it was interesting because after I put the list together, I looked at, okay, what movies did these guys do? What was their big ticket that really put them over the top? Of these 10 actors, 8 of them were in Avengers Endgame.
Yeah, Avengers Endgame. And that was exactly what I was going to point out. I was like, that money, that movie made like $3 billion, I think, around the world, something like that.
$2,794,731 and $755.
So who's counting, right? We'll have 200 million. What's 200 million amongst friends? So yeah, $2.8 billion. Did you see it?
Although that I never did. But I will tell you,
dude, so good.
I'm sure. Of the 2 people that are not grouped with them, one of them was in a movie that is actually a little bit higher than that.
I think Avatar holds the record, doesn't it?
Yes, Avatar.
Yeah.
So if you know her name, I'll let you say it.
Zoe Saldana is probably who you're talking about, because she was in both. And she's also in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes. She is number 4 on this list.
That doesn't surprise me. I mean, between Endgame and Avatar, that's what, almost $6 billion right there. So, I'm not sure.
And I'm sure you can rattle off. Yeah, I'm sure you can rattle off. The other. I mean, a lot of these are pretty famous names. But yeah, I was just amazed that all these people.
How have you not
were
seen
in
Avengers Endgame? Do you just not watch Marvel movies?
I know. I don't.
Are you not into the Marvel universe?
I've never seen a Marvel Universe movie.
Oh, man. Iron Man?
I know.
Come on.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I did see Iron Man. I saw the first two Iron Mans. Yes.
Oh man, Iron Man is awesome, and Guardians of the
Iron Man was
Galaxies are
good.
awesome.
Iron Man was good.
They're all good. I mean, you got to sit down and watch it. If you have Disney Plus, you can. I think they actually have like
I do.
in chronological order that you can watch the Marvel Cinematic Universe and bounce between all the different movies in the order that it actually happens, like chronologically. It'll take you a while, but Endgame's, I think,
sure.
I remember seeing that in the theater, and my wife and I never go to the movies, and we actually saw that one in the theater when it came out. And people were cheering, and it was a fantastic experience. But yeah, the Avengers are definitely top notch.
Okay, then we already established Zoe Saldana as number 4 on this list, and I'm sure you could rattle off a bunch of the Avengers Endgame actors that are pretty famous, by the way. I'm going to guess
number 1 has got to be Samuel L. Jackson, just between the Avengers and
That's
all
correct.
the movies that he's been in. Yeah, okay.
Here, quick trivia, real quick on Samuel L. Jackson. How many movies do you think he's made? Because I have that number.
Like total movies
in like a prominent leading, prominent role. Yes.
I want to say it's probably like 60, something like that.
66.
It's been a lot. Okay.
Yeah, solid. Yeah. Hey, good guess. But yes, he's number 1.
He's box office gold. Has he ever been
pretty much
in a bad role? Like, he's usually really good in it. And his tie with the Marvel one is interesting because he plays a character, Nick Fury, that is weaved into almost every single Marvel movie. So if he's counting credit on that, that definitely drives his number up.
My first exposure to him was Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, mine too. Which I hated the first time I saw it. I remember watching it at your house one night after work.
Yeah.
Chili's, and I was like, I don't get this movie. And then we watched it again. I was like, oh, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, I thought it was hilarious the first time I saw it, and then I thought it was just even more hilarious every time I saw it afterwards, even though it's not really a comedy.
Yeah, I didn't get it the first time. I was just like, oh, whatever. And then, I watched it again, and it was like,
yeah,
okay, I get it. Yeah, it's fantastic. It's so quotable in so many good scenes. But okay, so Samuel Jackson.
Yes,
I think I saw this on the last Saturday Night Live, but Scarlett Johansson, I think, is probably up there.
She's number 2.
Number 2. Okay.
Yeah.
Robert Downey Jr.'s got to be up there because another Endgame, and he's been
number
in
3
as well. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
We already said Zoe Saldana, Chris Pratt, I'm guessing, because of all the
He's number
Avengers
5, dude.
And Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay.
Chris Hemsworth for Thor.
He's number 9.
Avengers?
9.
Number 9. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so let me go back to so he was number 9. I said Chris Pratt, right?
Yes.
And we said Zoe Saldana. What's the Rocket Raccoon? Bradley Cooper is probably on the list.
He's he's number 10.
Okay. Who else is on Guardians of the Galaxy?
So you have two more Avengers.
And
then one is non-Avengers.
Is Vin Diesel on there because he plays the voice of Groot?
He is number 8 because probably between that and all the Fast and Furious movies.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so
you have one more Avengers. Tom Cruise is the only non-Avengers that we didn't talk about. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, he's been in so many things now between Mission Impossible and Top Guns
Mission Impossibles and Top Gun Maverick is his top grossing movie of all time.
Really? More than the first Top Gun?
Yeah, Top Gun Maverick made almost $1.5 billion.
I've never seen it. Actually, that's not true. I've seen parts of it on the back of Delta seatbacks from other people's seats. Because for whatever reason, it was like everybody was watching it. I didn't, they're like, that's not how I want to watch it. I don't want to watch it on the back of a Delta seat. So,
it's if you liked the first one, you would like the second one, but the storyline is almost identical.
Okay.
Which is
that doesn't
weird.
Sell me on it.
That's the thing. It's almost like, okay, you wrote the same story, you just kind of reworked the characters a little bit. Like, Maverick became the instructor and then all that. And, they just, the volleyball scene was a football game this time around. And, the nightclub scene was, just a bar this time around. And, all that stuff. And it was like the exact same stuff happened just in a different way, but in the same sequence. But for the movie, for what it was, I thought was really good.
So what is it, more of a nostalgia trip than it was a good movie?
Yes. Okay. And then obviously you got there's a little blip between Tom Cruise and Val Kilmer, and Val Kilmer was really ill at the time.
Yeah. He was such a good actor, man. Val Kilmer.
I know.
He's so good in everything he's ever been in.
Yes.
His role 100%. As Doc Holliday and Wyatt
Tombstone.
Earp is just, or Tombstone, is just
Tombstone. Yes.
Just legendary.
He was good in that. Obviously, Top Gun, the original.
The Saint. I love The Saint.
The Saint. I loved Real Genius, one of his first roles.
What was the first movie he was in? It was Top Secret. It was kind of like a Naked Gun type comedy. And
I do remember that.
I was like, yeah. That was fantastic. Yeah, he was a good one for sure. But
it's too bad.
Tombstone was just the pinnacle for me for him.
Yeah.
Did I get everybody on the list?
You have one. You're missing one.
All right. So another Avenger.
It's another Chris.
Oh, Chris Evans, Captain America, of course.
Yes.
Gotta be him. Yeah. Okay.
There you go.
Yeah. I mean, it's shocking how much money Avengers has made. And I think Endgame was like, it was a 2-part series. There was actually 2 different finales to kind of close out the thing. So.
Well, obviously now I need to go watch it. It sounds like I need to go watch them all. And I don't even know how many there are.
I mean, there's a lot. And the Iron Man series kind of weaves into it a little bit too. So I don't know. It depends on how sucked into the universe you want to get. I love the Marvel universe. It's right up there with me for Star Wars. So I enjoy all of that. I really like Doctor Strange. I think it's fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll buy that endorsement. I like that.
Add it to the list. But Avengers Endgame, and I don't even remember the name of the one before that. Kind of sets it all up. I have to look it up, but yeah, a fantastic way to kind of close that out. Now they've gotten a little bit weak after that. Eternals, I think, came after that, and that was not so great. But it was still, if you still like the universe, you'll still find some enjoyment out of it. But it was kind of a letdown.
Did they eventually run out of stuff to do? Run out of storyline? Run out of stuff?
So here's the thing: is there's the Marvel comic books, so there is a lot of content to draw from. But the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, is not the exact same thing as the Marvel comics. They take liberties on the cinematic universe to be more television friendly, movie friendly, rather than comic book friendly. The characters tend to be, roughly the same, but they might take liberties with stories and things like that, and sort of power levels of different mutants, for example, and who can do what. But there is still so much more that they can do. It's crazy. I think they have the next 20 or 30 years worth of content already plotted out. And if you just go to Disney Plus and look through all the stuff, there's not only the movies, but there are a ton of TV shows based off of characters as well. So Daredevil and Kingpin is another fantastic one. That's so good. I really liked She-Hulk, for example. It was a totally different, more fun style, but super funny and super good. Miss Marvel was, I think she's a Pakistani girl, turns into a superhero, kind of very colorful and vibrant, very good. She's super young, so she's kind of like this, doe-eyed, person who's, thrilled to be, a superhero, that kind of thing. Moon Knight is another really good one that was fantastic. Dude, and that is such a strange character. There is so many more stories they can tell in this space. And I'm sure they've got things lined up. They've already talked about the next 10 years. But there is so much to watch.
How many Marvel movies are there? Do you know? I don't
know. 30?
Really?
I mean, just for I'll look it up, but
from the latest, since
I'm going to talk about the more modern.
I can remember is Iron Man, since Iron Man, the original Iron Man.
Yeah. Let me pull it up right now. So Marvel And if I go to the cinematic universe, you've got, okay, so this is in order, okay? The first Iron Man, then the Hulk, then Iron Man 2, then Thor, then Captain America, then the Avengers, then Iron Man 3, then Thor again, then Captain America, then Guardians of the Galaxy, then Avengers, then Ant-Man, then Civil War, which is Captain America, then Doctor Strange. I hope you're counting because I forgot. You've got Guardians of the Galaxy again. You've got Spider-Man. You've got Thor, Black Panther, Avengers, Infinity War. That was the first one. And then Endgame's the next one. You got Avengers, and then you've got Ant-Man and the Wasp. Then you got Captain Marvel. Then you got Avengers Endgame. Then you've got another Spider-Man. Then I think you've got the Eternal, the Eternals. So there's plenty. I'm looking through here. So like say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I counted 27.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Forgot about Black Widow. 18, 19, 20, 1, 2. Oh, Shang-Chi. That was another good one. 8, 29, 30, 31, 32 in the MCU movie timeline. Because I forgot about Deadpool as well. And the Marvels.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, there are a lot of movies. And that's just the movies.
Well,
there are TV shows as well that are fantastic. Moon Knight, Venom. Dude, The Punisher is so raw. That dude is just sick. And some I haven't seen either, like Cloak and Dagger, but there's a lot of really good TV shows on, based on cinema or based on Marvel characters.
I can tell you
Loki's fantastic, dude.
I can tell you that of the movies you mentioned, I've seen 2 of them.
Oh, dude, you're missing out, man. You're missing out. And you can watch them in kind of any order, but if you like Iron Man, it just gets better from there. I think
I've seen Iron Man 1 and Iron Man 2. Those are the 2 that I've seen.
And so, Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man is perfect casting. Like you could not have done a better job with that. So the only way, so if you wanted to go back and start over, you'd watch Captain America and then you'd watch Captain Marvel, which, both are fine. Both are good. But you've got 2 of the first 4 out of the way from a timeline perspective.
Gotcha. All right.
Yeah. The Hulk you could probably kind of skip. Wasn't really that great, but it's still Avenger or it's still Marvel.
I'll add them to the list.
Yeah.
So the way I look at it is once my kids are all out of the house, I'm going to have a ton of time on my hands. Mm-hmm. So that's when I can catch up on all this stuff. So
got to make time, man. Got to have priorities.
I know. I know.
I don't have kids, and I still haven't figured out time to watch all this shit.
you travel a lot, so
I do, but that's, if anything, that should give me more time, right, on flights and delays and all that good stuff. There's so much to watch. Black Mirror has a new season, so I've started to get into that as well.
Well, like I said, there's so much good stuff out there. Just because you have all the streaming networks out there, they all want to do their own stuff, and it's like, it's not just CBS, NBC, and ABC anymore. Everybody's got their own stuff, and even movies that are just go straight to Netflix or straight to Paramount or whatever. And it's like, man, there's just so much good stuff out there.
Yeah, and you have to like pick and choose because certain things are going to have spoilers.
Yeah,
and if you don't watch it right away, you run the risk of falling victim to hearing about things before you actually get to experience it on the show.
Crazy.
Okay, so I got your top 10. I got a bonus one for you. Who is the number 1 all-time box office leader? And this means movies, TVs, voice acting, cameos, everything. I'll tell you what, number 2 is Samuel L. Jackson. But there's still somebody ahead of him.
Okay. So this is everything.
Everything. Voice acting, then there's a lot of stuff like that. But there's still one person, and the list I'm sure is very similar to the top 10 of all time for all roles. But if you include voice acting and other cameos in TVs and stuff like that. Who's number one?
All right, I have two people in mind, and I can't decide which one I'm gonna fire at you first. I'm gonna guess one of them, or my first guess would be Harrison Ford.
Nope.
Really?
Yeah, I don't even think he's in like top 10 or 20 status.
Okay, then my other guess would be Tom Hanks.
Nope.
Really? Okay.
I don't think you'll get this one. So,
all right,
it's
give me
we're
a hint
still in the Marvel universe.
Oh, and it's not mentioned on here.
Nope.
Okay, well, the Marvel
but he's been
universe
in every Marvel movie.
In every one of them,
I believe so. Yes. If he's not, he tends to play like a cameo character.
Okay, obviously the Marvel thing's not going to help me because I'm not a Marvel guy. Is there any other hint you can give me here? Like, is this a well-known? Really. Is this a well-known? I mean,
if you know Marvel, yes, but that doesn't help you because you don't know Marvel. He's not an actor, like traditional.
He's not an actor.
So I said he mostly does cameos, but he's in every Marvel movie.
Yeah,
and he passed away, I think, relatively recently. Stan Lee, the creator of a lot of the stuff from the Marvel universe.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. So if you watch every movie, he usually plays some, one-off little like
some off the wall
20-second, 10-second character, right? It's like, did I do that? Just something stupid.
He's one of the heroes in Big Bang Theory.
Yes. Well, obviously.
Those characters worship that guy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, him and Jack Kirby created a ton of these superheroes and comic books and stuff like that. He's one of the creators of Marvel comics at large. So
I do know.
Yeah. I mean, if you add in Avengers Endgame and it's the same thing because he's in that as well.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah,
what else you got?
Yeah, you're right. I don't know what else. I don't know what other hint you could have given me on that one because.
Yeah, I mean, he's synonymous with it.
I do know who he is. So, okay. There are. I think you're going to struggle with it. I'm going to give you one. I think you're going to struggle with.
Okay.
There have been. We're gonna shift over to music here. There have been 9 artists. Single artists, okay? This isn't band. Well, there's one band on here. There's one band who have topped the Billboard charts at least 10 times with albums. Can you name
albums
them?
Or records or songs? Or does it matter?
According to Billboard, it's albums. So their albums hit number 1.
Okay.
10 times, at least 10 times. And I can tell you here, you've got one who's done it 19 times, 3 who have done it 14 times, and 5 who have done it 11 times.
And Billboard's based off of sales, right? Not
Billboard is sales.
How good the music is. Okay.
No, correct. Correct. Billboard is strictly sales. Now I will tell you that there's one band on this list, and they are the top one.
I mean, I'm gonna have to guess like Beatles.
Yes, Beatles is the band.
Okay. So Beatles is the band. Everyone else is a solo artist.
Everyone else is a solo artist. Now there's a lot of rap on here, if that helps you.
I was gonna say somebody like Eminem or Drake or
Eminem, Drake,
JC.
Yes.
Oh, all 3 of them are on there?
They are.
Okay, so I've got 4 of the 9 already. All right, so I got the rap ones already.
You have 4 of the 9.
So who else makes a ton of money on music? Taylor Swift, I'm guessing.
Yep, she's on there. I think you're going to struggle with the end of this. So you have 4 of the top 5 and number 6.
4 of the top 5 and number 6. Okay.
Yes.
But you said they're single artists, right? Madonna?
No.
Lady
No,
Gaga?
I've got two more. I've got two more rap artists. One was big in the 80s and maybe the 90s, but mostly the 80s. And another
MC
one is a
Hammer?
female. No. And another one is a female who was big probably in the 70s.
Cher?
No.
Barbara Streisand?
Yes.
Really?
Very good. Yes.
All right.
She did it 11 times.
So I'm still missing an 80s, 90s hip hop or rapper.
80s, 90s. You're missing, let's see. The two rappers are still out there today. And then the 80s, 90s guy, he's pretty old now. I think he still tours rarely, but he does. But
Snoop
he was
Dogg
big
or
back
Dr.
in the
Dre?
80s and 90s. No.
Not MC Hammer, right? I mean,
No.
he was like 2 hits and done. Who makes a ton of money? I'm just going to start throwing names out.
Sure.
Springsteen?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so now I got the two rappers. One I think you'll get, the other one I don't think you will.
I'm struggling with rapper names right now. Ice-T or Ice Cube?
No, they're, like I said, they're more relevant now.
More relevant now.
Yeah.
More
Or
so
I would say
than
in the last
Eminem
in the
and
last in the last 10 years.
I mean,
There's one who's like, I mean, he you know,
Kanye?
he does. Yes, he's
Kanye's on the
he's
list.
the one. He's the one I thought you'd get. I don't think you'll get the last one.
Yeah, I'm struggling. I have no idea who it would be because
Do you know who Future is? You ever heard of Future?
no, I don't know if I've even heard of him. I assume it's a him.
I can't tell you. Yeah, it is a him. I can't tell you. I'm not sure of any of his songs he sings, but somehow I do know he is linked to Scottie Pippen's ex-wife. He is also the the ex of what's her face, Ciara, who's married to Russell Wilson in the NFL.
Okay.
So there you go. There's some
Yeah, I don't know if I don't think I've ever heard of him or heard any of his music. I'll have to go look it up.
I have only because my boys are into all that shit. So
did you quiz them?
They know Future. No, I did not. I did not. But they contributed to the Billboard success of Future at one point or another.
Okay. Yeah,
I can tell you that.
Well, that's just sales. It's not musical ability.
Yeah.
Let's put that way.
No, you did better with that than I thought, honestly, thought you would. No offense.
The Barbara Streisand one was kind of like a shot out in the dark. That was like, Tyrese Halliburton throwing up that Hail Mary and then having it bounce down into the thing. I was like, I don't know, people who are big in that space.
That was like the Immaculate Reception. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Total shot in the dark. Okay.
Okay, my last list for you is in career interceptions thrown by a quarterback. There are
Brett
10
Favre.
guys on this list. Yes, he is number one. There are 10 guys on this list. 3 of them I've never heard of, so I'm going to give them to you. John Hadle, Norm Snead, and Jim Hart. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So you got 7 names left, 6 of which are in the Hall of Fame. None of those, the 3 that I mentioned to you, are not in the Hall of Fame. So there's one other guy that is not in the Hall of Fame on this list, and then there are 6 Hall of Famers on this list. You named Brett Favre. Who are the rest?
So I'm looking for Hall of Famers that are in the top 10 of most interceptions
Top
thrown.
10 of interceptions thrown. Yes.
Peyton Manning.
He's number 9. And yes, he is a Hall of Famer.
Dan Marino.
He's number 8.
Okay.
3 of these guys played a long time ago. But you're a football guy, so I think you'd know.
I'm trying to think the old Bears guy.
No,
I know he had like this because like it wasn't on the Bears.
No,
Blanda is not on there.
He wasn't on the Bears,
I don't know
but he is on this list. Yes.
Okay. I thought he was on the Bears.
And he is a Hall of Famer as well.
Yeah. So is he on the? Did I get him? George Blanda?
Yes. Okay. He's number 2.
So we got 4. Yeah, because I would say because Favre passed him.
Yes.
Give me some hints if they're old.
Okay.
I think like
Colts.
bombers that would have thrown a ton of passes.
Colts in what, the 60s and probably the 60s.
Johnny Unitas? Was he? No, that was.
Yes.
Really?
That is him.
I didn't know you threw a lot of. Okay. That's
he's
old
number
school,
7 on this list. Okay.
What are you gonna do?
This
Have
guy
Jim Thorpe on this list?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah, right. Okay, this guy, Minnesota Vikings, and this might give it away, but I'll go ahead and say it. If you remember the show, we were young kids when this was on, called That's Incredible. He was one of the hosts. But he played for the Vikings predominantly.
Warren? No, did Warren Moon make the play? Make NFL? Warren Moon?
No.
I could picture his face on the TV show.
Yeah.
Tarkenton.
Yes.
Fran Tarkenton.
Okay. Fran Tarkenton.
Okay.
Real quick, the Knicks have taken a 6-point lead with 4 minutes to go.
All right. Go Knicks.
Okay, the last one kind of moved around a little bit. Played for a lot of teams, played a long time, was never great, but was serviceable enough to have a pretty solid career. He's the only non-Hall of Famer left on this list. Played with the Jets, the Dolphins, I'm sure a handful of other teams. Went to the University of Miami, went to the U.
What
years? Has an Italian first name.
What years are we talking about?
Probably 90s, 2000s.
Okay.
I think.
Journeyman style quarterback.
Journeyman.
That's what you're describing. Threw a ton of interceptions. Did he have a lot of touchdowns too? Or is he an interception machine?
I think he had some of both. I'm looking him up right now.
Okay.
And once I look him up, maybe I can give you some more hints.
He's not in the Hall of Fame.
No, but I mean, had a solid career. Okay, he was drafted by Tampa Bay. This is 2000s. So he played for Dallas. He played for the Patriots. He played for the Panthers.
Bernie
Ravens.
Kosar.
No. Browns. I lied. He never played for the Dolphins. Okay. I was thinking Miami, University of Miami. Okay. So he's drafted by Tampa Bay, then went to Cleveland, then went to Baltimore, then went to the Jets, then the Cowboys, the Patriots, and finished up with the Panthers in 2007.
So he retired after 2007. And when did he get drafted by Tampa?
1987.
You said he played for Cleveland?
Yes. So he played
And
21
it's not Bernie
seasons.
Kosar.
It's not Bernie Kosar. Never won the Super Bowl. But he did win the Heisman Trophy in 1986. And was the first player from the University of Miami to do that.
That doesn't help me. I don't follow college. I feel like I should know this one because that would have been like the era that I was most into like fantasy. And so
yeah, 275 career touchdowns, 46,000 career passing yards.
Wow. Okay. How many interceptions?
Let's see. Interceptions, 267. He led the league 4 times.
So he was a 1-to-1 quarterback, 1 touchdown, 1 interception ratio, basically. 275 to 267.
275 to 267.
No, that's, you said he's Italian first name?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what's his name? Testaverde. He sucked.
Yes.
Oh,
Mini Testaverde.
So how did that guy bounce around from so many teams? I mean, like I said, he was serviceable.
21
I guess
years.
He's one touchdown to 1 interception ratio is not great, but definitely not Hall of Fame worthy for sure. But I guess that'll get you 20 years. I mean, he held a clipboard like the last 10, right?
Yes, and he's also famously somewhat colorblind, which probably contributed to the interception problem.
Oh, I didn't know that. Really?
Yes.
Was that known when he was drafted?
Says I don't know if it was known when he was drafted, but it says he has stated that he is colorblind specifically in regards to red and green.
Okay. Yeah, that's actually it's relatively rare in men, I think, to have red and green or red. I think it's red colored blindness is relatively rare.
Yeah, it says Testaverde's color blindness was sometimes used as an explanation for his occasional errors and interceptions on the field.
Okay, well, I wonder if statistically, if there's a way to look back and say, like, okay, look at his interceptions and see what his ratio was against teams wearing either red or green versus teams that did not have red or green in their uniforms.
Hey, the guy lasted 21 years, so it's not like he was crap, right?
I mean, I don't know how much money he made, but you can be a shitty quarterback and make a ton of money, especially if you make well on that line. Look at David Carr, right? Made like $200 million for 10 years of mediocrity in the NFL.
Yeah, right. I know. It's a great job if he can get it.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, as I said, if you can hang on and be the backup quarterback, I mean, next to being the punter for Peyton Manning, that was like the best job in the league.
Yeah, I mean, look at guys like, look at the Bears just picked up Case Keenum. How much NFL action in a game has that guy seen? Not a ton.
Yeah, and he probably won't see any more, but if he's a good teacher and he's willing to understand that those who can't teach, still have a long career.
You pay me a couple million if I had that to offer. Shit.
How much money would you? What's the minimum amount of money that you would do to play in the NFL?
To play in the NFL, the minimum amount?
Yeah. Well, what position would you play?
Oh no! Wait. What position would I want to play, or what position do I think I physically could play?
I want, because neither of us could physically play. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Like if you were an NFL player, like if you said, like right now, you can go and you can play in any team and you can be whatever position you want. What position would it be? And then what is the minimum amount of money that you would take to do that, knowing that you have to take care of yourself, especially if something happens?
Okay. No, great question. I would want to be a pass rusher.
Okay.
And knowing the
defensive lineman of some sort, like an end or like a linebacker?
Defensive end. Defensive end, outside linebacker. Yeah, one of those two. Edge rusher, as they call it today. All right.
Right.
Knowing the toll that the NFL takes on your body, and knowing how sore I am nowadays without ever playing a snap of NFL football. In fact, never playing a snap of football at any level.
Mhm.
I I don't what 2 million a year? Yeah, I would
Is
say
that
2 million because I think I would be smart with that and invest it, and I think I could turn that into I would live rather modestly on that. I think I could live comfortably on 2 million a year, and
well, let's
then
assume
it
that you've got
yeah.
1 year. You got a 1-year contract. That's
Oh,
it.
okay, 1 year?
You are not good enough to stick around in the NFL. I hate to break it to you, but
No,
let's
I
just
know.
say there's
Okay.
a
Oh,
Rudy situation. And they're like, "Hey,
so one and done. I'm one and done.
one and done." Yeah.
Okay,
And let's
then
you know what?
I
Let's not make it
think
a year. Let's make it a game. I think that's more interesting. So you're Rudy and you've been on the bench the
okay.
entire time, right? And they call you up and the Bears have a tryout or whoever. And they're like, "All right, Jay, this is your chance. We're going to put you in defensive line or edge rusher. What's the minimum amount of money that you would take to play that one game?"
Based
Now
on
remember,
what
you've got
NFL
to get
contracts,
ready.
I
You've got
know,
to get
I
into
know.
shape. You've got to take care of yourself for injuries, whatever that may be.
I'm gonna say 500,000.
$500,000?
Yeah,
That's what it would cost to put you
yeah,
into a game.
yeah.
That's a lot more than $2 million a year.
I know. But you got to remember, I want this 500,000 to propel me towards the rest of life. Like
Right.
I don't want to just go play one NFL game and then go back to sales for Cisco. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I want to be able to start something after that that's going to work towards taking care of me and my family the rest of my life. How much what
So
about you?
I mean, I would do it for free.
Really?
I mean, yeah, I would. A once in a lifetime chance to play
Uh-huh.
a game, an NFL game, and to
But
be
again,
on the
okay,
field, not on the bench. You're on the field.
I know. Yeah, but okay, but you got to prepare, you got to practice, you got
Yeah,
to know what you're doing. You got to do
yeah.
all this. You're going to do that for free. Really?
I I totally. I think that's a. I mean, that's a bucket list thing. Like to get on the
Okay.
field for an NFL team. I think I would.
I-
I would want to be probably a running back or maybe a wide receiver or maybe some sort of like Christian McCaffrey type.
So you're okay. So you're willing to basically get your butt kicked for a
Yeah.
game. I mean,
Hmm.
take all kinds of hits, left, right, in the
Yeah.
head, in the ribs, in the legs, your knees, all that stuff, potentially putting you out for a while. If you all you got to do is go over the middle one time.
Oh yeah, yeah, oh,
You
for sure,
know,
and especially at my
you
size,
know,
and yeah, for sure.
yeah, yeah. I mean, concussion, all that shit.
Right.
You're willing to do that for no money at all, none.
I would do it for no money if the Bears.
Wow.
Now I wouldn't do it for the Packers, but if the Bears
If the Bears
called me
called and said, Jeff,
and
we
said,
need you.
"Right, here's your, you're
You're
in
our guy.
tomorrow," I would be on a plane tonight to Chicago, and I would
Wow.
be in the playbook, and I would do everything I possibly could to be on that field and to contribute. And I would be
Wow.
totally fine. I'm like, yep, this is a one and done. It's a Rudy situation. Look, it's never going to happen. But to
Yeah.
say that, I played a snap and I played a game in the NFL, not even a snap, a game in the NFL. How cool would that be?
Okay. See, okay. I'm gonna turn this around a little bit because
Okay.
for football, I need to be paid. I got to get paid.
For
For
baseball, you would do it for free.
Baseball, I'd pay to do it.
Yeah. Right. Well, yeah, that's the same thing too. It's like, all right, yeah.
But
Yeah, I would totally do it for free. I would
I
show
get it.
up and
Cool.
yeah. I think it's a once in a lifetime thing. Everybody's got their. So you've got your for baseball. Now, what position would you be on baseball?
I think I would pitch.
Think so? What would be your
Yeah.
pitch? Your money pitch?
Oh, I would have a devastating changeup. I think the changeup is the best pitch in baseball. And
See, now I thought you would go for something archaic, like a knuckleball or something like that. I can see you.
I wish I could throw
pulling into your bag of tricks. I mean, changeup is kind of a trick, but
yeah, I would have an untouchable changeup. But I wish I could throw a knuckleball. We played a kid who could throw a knuckleball today, and he was good. He was tough.
Yeah. So what makes a knuckleball so hard to hit?
Okay, so because it is so unpredictable. I mean, so basically, for people who don't really know, a knuckleball is thrown and the ball does not spin at all, or it spins very little. And because of that, there's no way to predict where the ball is going to go, which is why it's tough to hit. It's also tough to catch because it just kind of, it can go left, it can go right, it can go down, it can go wherever at, any time. If you have a good one, yeah, it's damn near impossible to hit. But for whatever reason, you don't see. I don't think there's an active knuckleballer in the game right now that throws his knuckleball.
Such a devastating pitch. Yeah, why doesn't everyone learn to do this?
I think because it's really, really difficult to control. Like to throw consistently for strikes. It's just hard to throw, And I think the art of pitching today has changed back to guys trying to throw 100 plus miles an hour. I think pitching itself has kind of taken a back seat to just pure velocity, which is why I think pitchers struggle to stay healthy.
Because they're putting too much.
I don't think the human body is built to throw a ball consistently 102, 103 miles an hour and then throw, an occasional curveball where it puts so much stress on your elbow that over half the game's pitchers have to have surgery, Tommy John surgery, and that are out for over a year to recover. But they don't seem to teach actual pitching anymore. And what I mean by that is they don't teach guys how to hit the corners, how to locate, how to throw maybe an 85 mile an hour changeup after you throw the 99, 100 mile an hour fastball. There's not nearly as much of that as there used to be. Like one of the greatest pitchers of all time, Greg Maddux, won like 355 games, I think it was, something like that. Barely threw the ball 90 miles an hour. Early in his career, he was mid-90s, but as he got older, he slowed down, but he also never threw the ball over the middle of the plate. And every pitch he threw moved. And because that's how he got guys out. He got guys out. He was a more
technical pitcher.
Yes. He got guys out by getting them to hit the ball off the end of the bat or the handle. It's called, missing the barrel, if you will.
A ground ball he was really pitcher, good at. That kind of player.
Yeah. Like he once threw a complete game, 9-inning game, and only threw 77 pitches. Today, 77 pitches barely gets you out of the fourth inning. It's crazy. So yeah, the game's changed big time.
So a pitcher that can throw a nasty changeup.
Yes, I would be a pitcher who could throw a complete game, which doesn't really exist anymore.
Yeah, you would just throw nothing but changeups with the occasional.
No, I would
throw it up.
Yeah, I would mix fastball, curveball, changeup, but my changeup would be what I'd be known for. That'd be my out pitch.
Okay. I think I would play right field and pray to God that no one ever hit the ball in my direction.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, we have some guys. We have some guys on the kids team that I coach that I sometimes wonder if they pray that the ball doesn't come to them.
Yeah, I have no interest in and that's probably part of the reason why I don't really care for baseball is I can't play it. Sure. I think we played softball, for the Chili's tournament and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that was fine, right? I can hit, a softball, but I have no
Yeah.
interest in fielding. And how did I end up getting stuck playing third base for someone who couldn't field grounders? Like, it didn't make any sense.
Well, because you were athletic. You were athletic enough.
Yeah, I guess. But I had no
You know.
interest in fielding ground balls either, so that was a mistake.
Hey, man, we we almost won the title one year, so it obviously worked for 1 year.
Yep. Yeah, I'm a singles hitter, maybe a double with the speed to stretch it, but that was it. I was definitely not hitting for power.
No, I wasn't either. I was a hit for average guy growing up and high school and all that. I didn't hit many home runs. Wasn't really my thing. I think the most I ever had in a season was like 4, and that was when we were like 8 years old. So
I've never hit one. Not in softball, not in baseball, never. And it will never happen. It's not for me. I don't have the bat speed to do it.
Sure.
No.
Baseball's hard. It is a difficult game.
Very difficult.
To play.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I tell the kids that all the time. I'm like, look, guys, this game is hard. It's not, hitting a round ball
strike
with
out
a
7 out of 10 times, right?
Yeah. Hitting a round ball coming at you, faster than a car is driving, with a round bat is tough. It's really hard. So
unless you have a torpedo bat.
Yeah, exactly. You said you had a dumbass of the week.
Yeah. So
what do you got?
My dumbass of the week. Well, do I want to end with dumbass of the week, or do you want to end with didn't you have another listener of the week, or did you already give it to Rick?
I do have another listener of the week, and it's a shout out to a young man who listens to the show. He's been a friend of the family for a long time. He just graduated from Augustana here in Illinois. And what's cool about Sean, his name is Sean Murray. He's a good friend of ours. And what I find really interesting is he played football with Jeremy for 4 years at South and played football at Augustana. His brother also played college football. But Sean, what amazes me about Sean, he graduated with 2 bachelor's degrees and a minor in 4 years.
Wow. Go Sean.
So a bachelor's degree in accounting, a bachelor's degree in business administration, and a minor in communications. So to get all that done while playing college football in 4 years, and above all that, still have time to listen to this show. Sean, you are a listener of the week. Congratulations, dude. Already has a job, from what I understand, I think in downtown Chicago. So, Sean, good luck. Keep in touch, and way to go, dude.
Yeah, congratulations, Sean. I mean, that resume right there just tells me we got a straight shooter that's got, upper management just written up all over him.
Yeah, no doubt. Sean comes from a great family. His parents, Mary and Brian, and his brother Ryan, just really great people. But no, Sean's going to go far in life. He's a sharp kid.
Well, good for him. Congratulations.
His only downfall is he's a diehard Indianapolis Colts fan living here in Chicago.
Oh.
So
yeah, how do you reconcile that?
I know we can't all be perfect, but Sean's going to go do great things. So good for you, Sean.
Yeah, I mean, even now, why are you a Colts fan? Like, they got nothing going on.
Right?
That doesn't make any sense. All right, well, hey.
Right?
Whatever. That's fine. At least it's not the Packers, so that's good. And it's a different conference, so that helps also.
Yeah. So,
all right, well, congratulations,
cool.
Sean. All right, well, here's the breaking news. The Knicks have won 106-100, so they pulled it out.
Yes. Wow.
Here's what bugs me as I look at the ESPN game flow diagram. I have that chart where, it shows up on the right the win percentage, over the time, and the points over time and stuff like that. So if you go to the ESPN page, they used the same color for both teams. So you have no idea who's on top or they're both blue lines going up and to the right. Poor UI design. Poor job by ESPN on that one. But that is not my dumbass of the week.
I'll tell you what, that's dumbass quality. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I'm gonna just say to whoever designed that UI, you blew it. Like, that is just
there you go.
terrible.
That's
terrible
fair
stuff. All right. My dumbass of the week is, drum roll, please, my Polestar again.
Oh, yes. All right.
All right.
All right. We are getting closer and closer to the lemon law. Invoking the lemon law.
I wish, but I don't think so, because it didn't require a trip anywhere. So I went to New York City this week, drove to the airport on Monday, and then parked in the garage there for a few days. Came back Friday. I get into my car after a trip, and as soon as I turn on, what do I get? An error: critical suspension fault. The car hasn't done shit all week. It's been sitting in a parking spot. Turn on. Critical suspension fault. Fuck, man. It's like, all right, well, let me reboot, clear that false error out. And of course, it's a false error. Like so many of the errors, just super annoying, right? I'm like, all right, that's gone. Let me start driving home. I pull out of the garage and the volume knob doesn't work. So I can't adjust the volume of the radio. And it's like blasting, I don't know, whatever I had on. It was probably some sort of a Tool or Corn or something like that.
Sure.
So I go to roll down the window and, pay the attendant. Meanwhile, all you hear is Wake Up the Hate by Corn at like 100 decibels coming out of my window. And I'm like, I'm sorry, man. I can't, the volume doesn't work. I can't do anything. Can't play pause, nothing. And so I got out of the driveway and I get across the street from where the airport is, and I pulled over and I rebooted again to clear out for whatever reason, the volume knob not working. So Polestar yet again gets another dumbass of the week, and is just one thing after another with this car. You blew
it! So how long are you locked into this car for?
2.5 years more. So I have a 3-year lease that started in November.
How much would it cost you to break the lease?
I'd have to buy the car outright.
Oh.
So 70,000, something like that.
Yeah. You're not there yet.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not happening. I actually went to Rivian's website and said, I wonder how much they would give me for the Polestar 3 if I traded in for a Rivian. And they actually gave me an offer of $67,000. Which I'm like, okay, but that means I will have put in basically $30,000 into a car over the last 6 months, because it retails like 93, minus incentives and stuff like that. But it just wasn't enough for me to be like, all right, I'll just be done with it and just get another Rivian.
So wait a minute. I'm unfamiliar with the process. So you have this car leased, but you could trade it into another dealer, and they would buy you out of that lease, or what would happen?
I would have to buy it out, and then I would have to trade it.
Okay, so essentially you would buy the car, and then sell it to Rivian.
Right.
Okay, and then
I would lose basically my entire, down payment and all the equity that I had when I traded in. And we'd be talking, several $1,000s, tens of thousands of dollars on it right now.
Sure. And at this point, it's not worth the headache isn't worth that just yet.
Exactly. And, I got it. It's just super annoying. You get in the car, it's like, all right,
I bet.
I haven't had a problem in a while. Nope. Critical suspension fault. Okay, well, that's not real. Let me just reboot. Like,
yeah.
And the volume not working, that's something new. Like that's only happened a couple times before, but I was like, all right, whatever. But went for a drive today, no problems. So
nice.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's all software. It's got to get fixed at some point, but it's just, that's not what you want to see after a week away. You get in your car and like, what the fuck? What do you mean suspension fault? You've been sitting in a parking spot for 5 days.
Yeah, it's annoying. That's annoying.
Mm-hmm.
We went to Michelle's cousin's daughter's second birthday party today. I don't miss that age, man. With kids, 2.
Yeah, I don't miss any kids at all, for sure.
yeah. But it was fun. They just had a barbecue type thing, some family and things like that. But man, there were couple other, young kids there, a couple babies there. And I'm just like, oh my God, I don't miss this. I don't miss it.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. So I'm with you.
Yeah, I hear you. It was wild, but I basically said, okay, the podcast to go to, so I gotta go.
Yeah, with literally dozens of listeners.
I know. Hey, it's important stuff. But when you texted me, I was like, yes. even though it's a holiday weekend, we're still on. I'm like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So it's awesome.
Yeah, I'm actually off tomorrow, which is kind of nice. I have a short week this week, 4 days, and then I'm off to Vegas next Sunday. So I have to figure out what we're going to record. I think I don't get until late next week, so maybe we'll do it Saturday instead.
I can probably do that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm going to Vegas for a conference all week, so I'll be gone Sunday through Saturday.
Nice. Where are you staying?
Mandalay. So big kind of conference for my industry.
That's where the conference is?
Yep.
Nice.
And I've been to this conference the last few years, and we kind of do like a partnership with my other podcast, and we have a game show that we're running to kind of kick off the expo hall. So I'm going to be a Steve Harvey fill-in and kind of run this show. And if you had told me, 25 years ago, sitting on one of our couches, Bo Bien or something, or in Murphy,
Murphy
that I'd be
Drive.
running a Family Feud style game show, and I would be the MC, I'd be like, you're fucking crazy, dude. But here we are doing it for the second time.
No, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I remember,
we'll see how it goes.
I remember when we played that down in Dallas recently. That was a good time. So yeah, very cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was kind of like, okay, let me figure out how to take this back and do something.
Yeah. Right. Cool.
Yeah. So it'll be a busy week between conference and clients and podcasts and game shows and all that stuff. And yep.
Nice.
So
I'm off tomorrow.
Like
I'll take a couple of phone calls, but nothing major. We've got, baseball at 10. If we win at 10, we play at 12. If we win at 12, we play at 2. So could be a full day of baseball. Hopefully the kids come to play and, we can possibly take the tournament. We are the top seed out of 17 teams. So that's pretty cool. And looking forward to tomorrow and see if we bring it.
All right. Well, good luck to you and the kids. Guilt trip them into another good week of practice and games.
Yeah. So no, it's been good lately. Nothing but positive coming from me. The other two coaches, they still, find a way, but I'm nothing but positive. I try to be.
You need to have balance in all things, as the great warrior poet good cop. Thanos once said.
Yes, we need good cop, bad cop. So I don't do bad cop very well. I do good cop very well. So,
well, you're natural at it.
I try. It's fun. It's a good time. I'm glad I got back into it. So it's cool.
How long do you think you'll do it?
Well, let's see. The team I'm coaching now is 13. I probably for the foreseeable future. I don't see why I would stop. I mean, I got, another 3-4 years with this kid if they still want me. And if not, I'm hoping that down the road, if one of my boys will let me, I would love to, if they have kids who play, I'd love to help out in that situation. I have had a couple of organizations in the past that my kids have played for. If they've told me, hey, if there's ever any time you want to still coach, give us a call. We'll give you a team, no problem. So I do have a couple of offers out there if I do want to stay in it. So yeah, I would say for the foreseeable future, I don't know if I'll ever play like my dad does again, but I would love to coach for as long as I can. It's a blast. I love it. Kids are fun, keeps me active, and I love the game. I love trying to teach the game. I don't teach it at a super high level, but I think it's something I do pretty well with, and I enjoy it. So hopefully for as long as I can.
You're a lifer, a baseball lifer, man.
Yeah. Yeah. A baseball lifer that just doesn't get paid for it. So,
No, it's because you enjoy doing it. So
it's
you're
it's
doing
fun.
it for free.
It's a great
As
time.
I said, you would
Yeah.
pitch for free. I would, play running back for free. Like that's the thing.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
I wish
Well,
I could
we'll
wish I
call
get
it
paid for it.
for this week. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
sure, of course. That would be the bonus on it, but you do it because you enjoy it first and foremost.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, no, it's a great way to, wrap up the week and enjoy a day off tomorrow and get back at it. And yeah, we'll talk next Saturday. Awesome.
All right. Sounds good. I'll talk to you later.
All right, brother. Take care.
See ya.
See ya.